Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna write our first Mrs. and our last Mertz and our, what hour is it? Okay. All right, so now that I have my name and hour, what is it, 7 or 8, I'm going to start painting another value scale. And you might be saying, value scale? Wait a second. We already painted a value scale in black and white. Well, we are going to paint another value scale in color. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is going to be the color. This is going to be a tint. And this is going to be a super white tint. This is going to be a shade, and this is going to be a super shade. So lots of black over here. Okay, so we're going to create a color value scale using tints and shades. Okay, so now I've got my value scale set up, and so now what I want to do is I want to start mixing my color. Now I'm choosing purple, so I'm going to start by just making the color. Okay, so here's my color, purple. All right, purple. It's a very dark color. Wait till I add white. You're gonna be like, wow, it'll blow your mind. All right, so now I'm gonna use my big flat brush. I'm gonna paint a rectangle here that is purple. Dip and flip, load that brush up. Now, secret here. I gotta make enough of the color so I can keep adding stuff to it, okay? So I'm actually gonna make a bunch here because I gotta shade it and I gotta tint it, okay? There we go. So now I got a bunch of purple. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add just a little purple over here to the white, okay? So I took the dark to the light, and then I'm gonna get rid of that. All right, pick that up, and this is going to be my super tint, so it's mostly white. So this would be my lightest tone, okay? Then I'm gonna take more purple to the light. Now I've got a number 2 value, slightly darker, but definitely not the color still. It's got white to it. Okay, so now I wanna wash my brush off because I'm gonna start using black. Am I at the sink washing my brush off? No, I'm just washing it off in my cup. Swishy, swishy. Get that all cleaned up so I don't have black in there because I don't want gray. I want a shade of purple. Now, purple is a super dark color, so black really is not gonna do a whole lot to the purple. Okay, in fact, you guys might look at it and you might be like, it just looks black. Well, if you have a lighter color like yellow or orange, then yeah, then you're gonna see it. But for a darker color like this, your tints are gonna be where you really notice it. Okay, so here's pretty dark. And the darkness level between 4 and 5 on a dark color isn't gonna be that obvious to you. Okay, so this is my value scale done in my color that I'm gonna do my landscape. Hey painters, we're going to be painting a monochromatic landscape, and we have inspiration right here on this sheet, and we're going to lay it out over here on this piece of paper. Okay, well here we are back again, and I am drawing my buildings. I've got a section here, and everything that I've drawn so far I've drawn with either a ruler or I've drawn it with a template like these circles, but nothing has been hand drawn because cities are very geometric looking. And the farther away or the higher on the horizon line my city goes, the smaller my buildings are gonna get. All right, so now I've got my color value scale on the back of this paper, and now on the front of this paper I have drawn 5 areas that I'm going to be painting those values in. So number 3 is going to be the actual color. Number 2 and number 1 are going to be tints. 4 and 5 are going to be shades. Now, if you want to change it around a little bit, maybe your color is dark like purple. Maybe 4 is going to be your color and you're going to have 3 tints and 1 shade. Or maybe if your color is yellow and yellow is really light anyway, you could have number 2 be yellow, tint it once for the sky, and then shade it darker, darker. And that would work for a lighter color. So you decide how you're going to do that value scale to get those color changes for your landscape. So now I've got my colors. I have chosen kind of a purple color for my landscape. And so I only needed blue, red, and white because that's how I get purple. And after we've done the color wheel, these things should not be a mystery to you. You should kind of understand how things go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my tint color. Okay, so here's my base color, a very kind of reddish violet color. You know, I think I'm going to make this more violet. There we go. All right, so then once I have that violet color, then I'm going to come over here, put it into the light, because if I take the white over here, I'm going to end up with a gallon of it. And if we were painting your house, then yeah, that'd be fine. But for this little bitty piece of paper, no. All right, then I'm left-handed, so everything that I'm getting is on my left because that just kind of makes sense. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in this so it flows better. Okay, so I'm going to block in, and I think this is not light enough. So I'm going to lighten it even a little bit further. There we go. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so just going to paint this in here. So I've got my first layer done, my light violet, and I've painted this circle like a super light violet, almost white, but it's not really white. It's got a little bit of color in it. Now I did go over some of my lines a little bit, and that's okay because I can paint back over them, and this brush right here is way too big for those. So instead of trying to brush my teeth with my hairbrush, trying to paint these little buildings with a big brush, I'm gonna go with my small brush. Okay, so first what I want to do is I want to get that light medium value created. So I'm going to put a little bit more over here, a little bit more. Okay, so getting my value just a little bit darker, trying to go for a light medium. I think I want some more color yet. Yeah. I think that looks good. That's light medium. Okay, so now I'm going to start painting. And since I have these little buildings, I'm going to use my little brush and I'm trying to get these as geometric as possible. Okay, so this just takes patience. Alrighty, so I'm just finishing up my light medium here, kind of going over a few things, making sure I've got it the way I want it, because once I leave this color, I'm not going to find it again. So you kind of want to be able to finish this in one day, this section. Alright, so there we go. There's my light medium all done. So now I'm going to go to my medium tones. So I'm going to add more color here. Get my dark color, put it in my light here. All right, so there is my medium tone. And so now I'm going to start painting that in. And sometimes it's easier to get a geometric shape painted when you have a flat head brush as opposed to a round head brush. Put a little water in that, make it kind of smoother. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up doing that. Okay, so now I've got that medium tone done, and I had to make some choices here what I was gonna do, so I decided to paint the inside of that. So now I wanna get all that white out of my brush. Get out of there, white. All right, swishy swish. Now, I'm gonna make a pure color with no white, so this is not tinted. So I'm gonna come over here, make my pure violet color, which is pretty dark compared to violet with a little bit of white in it. All right, so now I'm gonna come in here, paint that in. That is dark, definitely darker. Ooh, looks like some type of berry. Okay, so I'm almost done painting my forehead. Oh, I mean foreground. There we go. This got a little watery, so I'm going to put a little more paint on top of it. And I got to get my detail on here, so I'm going to switch brushes. There we go. Oh, and then I have this little dealie in here too. There we go. All right, so now I have my painting complete.